I'm Barbara Hobot, and this is Patrick Cull, and we collaborate artistically. We also have our own solo art practices, and for Kafka we are participating in a knife sharpening event. It's a mobile knife sharpening project where we're carting around whetstones and various tools around the Waterloo region and offering free knife sharpening to members of the community.
Knives, garden shears, tools, pocket knives, kitchen knives, anything that can be sharpened out of steel, we'll sharpen it. I think this project tries to incorporate a number of different processes or cultures and initiatives, cycling culture and knife sharpening culture.
Do it yourself.
Do it yourself. For example, we welded up this cart so that the whole project is mobile, so we can cycle anywhere in the region and set up and sharpen.
Yeah, it's nice to be on bike, and just thinking about Kafka's theme, survive, resist. I feel like we're almost resisting the anti-cyclist culture in the community. So far so good. We've had good luck on the roads, but I think it's important to almost make a spectacle of the fact that we're on bikes. We're very slow, and the cart that we're using is quite large, so cars have to meander around us, and it's kind of drawing attention to our project as well.
Part of this project embraces or celebrates knife culture, which can express itself in many different ways. People who are passionate about cooking at home, people who like knives as just objects of beauty, people who are woodworkers, and people who spend a lot of money on knives. They spend a considerable amount of money on one knife, and they keep it sharp, for their whole life, as opposed to sort of a more disposable culture where you buy a knife and then it gets dull and it kind of languishes in your kitchen drawer, and eventually you just I'll buy another knife. And so the part of the logic of this project is sort of honoring tools and keeping them sharpened. I think my interest in knife culture comes from the tool culture sort of background, learning how to woodwork from a young age and spending a lot of time doing custom carving of signs, and always having to have a sharp tool, and then it's like those sorts of hobbies. You start to collect tools, and then all of a sudden you have more and more and more, and there always seems to be a new job that you need a new tool for, and I think that's the seed of where my interest lies.
Yeah, my interest in knife sharpening stems from the fact that Patrick has a very large knife collection that he's constantly sharpening, and so I'll be in the living room trying to read a magazine, or I'm on the phone with my mom, and all I hear is this abrasive noise very frequently, and so I get into the kitchen, and it's like, that knife is perfectly sharp. What are you doing? And then, okay, so I want to understand this process a little bit more. And so, Patrick's been teaching me how to sharpen knives, and I have a new appreciation for that skill, and now I understand why he's constantly keeping on top of his tools. I'm surprised to see how many people do carry a pocket knife, and how many are interested in the knife sharpening process. And through sharpening their knives on the street, at Kitchener Farmers Market.
Through that interaction, and people come up and they have a story about a favorite garden tool that was their grandfather's, and they carefully unpack it and they give it to us, and we restore it to its pristine condition, and there's a nice exchange. There's under that there are other layers. There's the political content of the work, which maybe hints at doing something a little bit more environmentally friendly, like traveling on bicycle, or buying good quality tools and not disposing of them. So there's various political content. And then there's a discussion about art that happens as well. For some people, they may be not so familiar with the idea of performance art. So it engages the public to think about art and art history. The subject of St. Catherine, patron saint of knife grinders, has been tackled by famous painters throughout the ages. And this is there's an art historical content as we take our attempt at portraying
St. Catherine. So this is our version of how she looked. Yeah, St. Catherine of Alexandria is the patron saint of knife sharpeners and any tradesperson or craftsperson who works with wheels. So potters, millwrights, weavers. As her legend goes, St. Catherine was to be tortured and eventually killed on a wheel, which is now known as the Catherine wheel. It's a torture device. But before they did that, she managed to destroy the wheel with a single touch. And so she's now watching over us as we are cycling through the town on our wheels and not grinding knives on grinding wheels, but more taking a slower approach to it. But she has been guiding us. We need her patronage on the streets. And it's also very interesting the kinds of interactions that we have on the streets and as we set up and sharpen people's knives. There's a lot of very interesting personal stories that people are sharing with us. I think I was expecting that, but it's something else to actually encounter it and meet all these new people within Kitchener-Waterloo. It's been really, really nice.
I think for me, one of the surprises was talking with the people at Recycle Cycle, them helping me to get the parts to weld up this cart and to be a little bit more involved in cycle culture. It's been a fun aspect of the project.